Welcome to Awakening Heaven on Earth. Before we begin, take a moment to arrive. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to believe, and nowhere you need to go. Simply listen, contemplate, and notice what stirs and resonates within you. This is a shared space of reflection, presence, and remembrance. Now, let us begin. Welcome back to Awakening, Heaven on Earth. This is the Unity season. Today we begin part 2 of the journey. Up to this point, we have explored unity as a truth that connects everything. Unity with God. Unity with ourselves. Unity with others. Unity with the earth. Unity with spirit. But now the journey turns inward. Because unity is not only something to understand, it is something to become. This second part of the journey is called Becoming Unity, the inner journey of transformation. It begins with a quiet moment that many people recognize in their lives. A moment when something deep within begins to stir. A feeling that something ancient, something sacred, something deeply true is waking up inside. Let us begin with these words. A spark becomes a flame. A flame becomes a sun. From within, the light rises, and you remember. Not the story you were told, not the mask you wore, but the truth eternal. You are a child of the infinite, a flame of the holy fire, a soul without beginning or end. The veils fall. The chains dissolve. And you stand free, shining, whole, awake. This is remembrance. Not the gaining of something new, but the return to what you always were. There is a question that often begins this inner awakening. It's not always spoken aloud. Sometimes it appears quietly in the heart. Sometimes it arrives in moments of silence, loss, wonder, or longing. The question sounds something like this. What is stirring within me? Why does it feel like something ancient and sacred is beginning to wake up from a long sleep? Who am I truly? And when we listen deeply enough, something within us begins to respond. Not with loud declarations, not with dramatic revelations, but with a quiet recognition. The soul speaks. Something within is shifting. I cannot explain it fully, but I feel it. Deep in my chest. Like fresh air entering a room that has been closed for too long. There is a breath I did not realize I was holding. A silence that feels more real than noise. A presence I thought I had lost. That is suddenly here again. Not outside me, but within. I remember. Not the details, but the feeling. A truth I once knew. A light I once was. A belonging that never left, but waited patiently for me to stop running. For many of us, we once imagined that spiritual awakening would be dramatic. Fire, trumpets, angels announcing from the heavens. But awakening rarely comes that way. More often, it arrives like this: a whisper, a tear, a quiet moment when something inside us says, "There is more to you than the life you have been living." A single leaf falls in the forest. And the world does not hear it. But somewhere deep inside you, something changes. You begin to realize something important. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not the identity the world assigned to you. You are not merely a role, a job, a performance, a mask. You were never meant to be only a body moving through time. You are eternal soul, spirit expressing itself in human form. A child of unity who forgot your name for a while. And even when you forgot, you were never abandoned. The divine has not been waiting for your perfection. Only your permission. Permission to awaken. Permission to rise. Permission to live as the truth of who you are. This is how awakening begins. Not with certainty, but with willingness. You do not need to see the whole path. You only need to take the next step. Into presence, into truth, into love. You are not traveling to a distant mountaintop. You are returning to the sacred center within you. That has always been your true home. And in this moment of recognition, something becomes clear. You remember who you are. And that remembrance changes everything. Take a quiet moment now and reflect within yourself. What sensations or inner experiences tell you that something sacred is awakening within you? What truth about yourself are you beginning to remember? In what ways has the world tried to define who you are? And what feels true beyond those definitions? What parts of you are rising now with tenderness, truth, and remembrance? And are you willing to trust the quiet voice within, even if you do not yet understand where it is leading? Take a few slow breaths. Allow the questions to rest gently within you. Now let us enter a time of prayer and remembrance. Please repeat after me. God of my soul, you have always been here, even when I could not see, could not feel, could not remember. You stayed within me. Now I feel you rising within me like the dawn. Within the chambers of my being, you are awakening the truth I was born carrying, but long ago forgot. Let me remember gently. Let me return to consciousness with grace. Let me open to the fullness of who I am, without fear, without shame, without hesitation. May this awakening never be rushed, but may it never again be denied. Om. Peace. Amen. In our next episode, we will continue this inner journey as we explore the next step in becoming unity. Until then, listen to the quiet voice within. Because the awakening you seek is already rising inside you. As we come to a close, remember that this journey continues in many expressions. This podcast is part of a family of partner podcasts. Awakening Heaven on Earth. The space between heaven and earth and Living Heaven on Earth are 3 companion podcasts exploring spiritual awakening from complementary perspectives. Awakening Heaven on Earth offers the core teachings and mystical reflections on unity, love, and conscious living. The space between creates room for dialogue, reflection, and lived conversation around those teachings. Living Heaven on Earth focuses on basic spiritual practices that help embody these insights in daily life. Together, they form a unified journey of understanding, experience, and integration, inviting listeners to remember their connection with the divine, with one another, and with the living world. You can find all of them available on the same podcast streaming platforms wherever you listen. And if music helps carry these teachings deeper into the heart, the unity Awakening Heaven on Earth album is available on all major music streaming services as a musical companion to this journey. Wherever you engage through listening, reflection, conversation, or music, may it gently remind you you are not separate. You belong to the one life, and heaven is already unfolding within you. Until next time, walk gently, love deeply, and embody heaven on earth.
There's a tremble in the silence, something sacred in the sound. Truth is rising like a river, and the walls are falling down. I've been sleeping in the story, playing parts I never chose, but the dream is losing color, and the light is breaking through the rose. The veil is breaking, I can see what's always been. The chains are shaking, and I'm stepping in again. No more lies to keep me blinded, no more fear to keep me small. And I remember love is all the names we've used for God, built 1,000 sacred doors, but I was knocking from the inside till I found there were no walls anymore. Every border, every boundary was a line drawn in the mind. But love is bleeding through the canvas, and the mirror showing something divine. The veil is breaking, I can see what's always been. The chains are shaking, and I'm stepping in again. No more lies to keep me blinded, no more fear to keep me small. The veil is breaking, and I remember love is all. I hear the sound of hearts returning, waking up from long exile. Tears are streaming, fire is burning, and the truth is walking every mile. The veil is breaking, I can see what's always been. The chains are shaking, and I'm stepping in again. No more lies to keep me blinded, no more fear to keep me small. The veil is breaking, and I remember love is all. Is calling us, is holding us, is waking us.